What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC Vegas 104. We have Marvin Vettori going against Roman Dolidze 2. And yeah, very interesting card coming up in the Apex. It's a greasy one. It's very greasy. It's a sketchy one, and it's one that should be treaded lightly on. With that said, I have way too much action on this card. There's a couple spots that I really do like, and we'll break it all down. Break this card down from a betting perspective, as we always do. If you guys want a more further in-depth breakdown on why I'm picking who, I did post my full card breakdown and prediction video on Monday. But yeah, looking forward to it. Got some fights coming up. Before we get into the video, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. All three of those things are much appreciated. If you guys want to support me more, check out dfsbythenumbers.com. That's where you'll find all my other content on my website. And yeah, I say we get into it on this 13-fight greasy Apex card. We're going to kick it off with Judice going against Eunice Duben. We got Judice minus 405. Duben is plus 305. And yeah, for me personally, I know a lot of people are on Duben. And I'm just not sold on Duben. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy seeing an 0-2 fighter between Contender Series and in the UFC. She's 0-2 as a minus 400 favorite. But, you know, there's probably a reason for that. You know, Duben was a plus 1,000 underdog on the Contender Series against a fighter that's just not that great. I think Duben still has a lot to prove. You know, she hasn't really fought or beaten many great fighters at all. You look at a lot of her wins before the Contender Series, it was just a bunch of 0-0 fighters. And I just feel like Judice, she's more tested. Although she's losing fights, she's being very competitive with some very solid fighters. So I like Judice here. It's hard to lay minus 405 though on her. It's really hard to do that. What I do like here though is some violence. I have the fight doesn't go to decision, 1.25 units for plus 126. If it turns out Duben is the real deal, like everybody thinks, she's going to knock out the very hittable Judice in the first round. If it turns out that Duben's an absolute bum, and she shouldn't be here or belong here, you know, Judice probably finishes her. You know, both fighters have a 100% finish rate, so I feel like this could be Duben getting that early knockout, since Judice is very hittable and does block punches with her face, or I kind of feel like Judice can kind of push the pace a little bit, drag Duben into deep waters, and she's never seen the third round, maybe even get the fight down to the ground, and I just have a feeling that there's going to be a huge discrepancy with the grappling. You know, Judice is, I believe, a blue belt in BJJ, whereas Duben, I haven't seen her ground game at all. So I think Judice probably does finish, but that fight doesn't go, I think, covers a Duben first round knockout as well. So give me the fight doesn't go here. Next, we got Josiane Nunes going against Priscilla Cachoeira. Easy pass for me. It's one of those fights where I'm just going to sit back, you know, grab a drink, and enjoy it as a fan. You know, I'm going to see these ladies go out there and throw down, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be enjoyable. But what's not enjoyable is putting money on either of these fighters. I've seen nothing but Priscilla Cachoeira bets. I don't think I've seen anybody bet on Josiane Nunes this week. Yet the line literally has not moved throughout the week. So I don't know. I'm not laying chalk on Josiane Nunes, absolutely not, and I'm not putting any money on Priscilla Cachoeira, absolutely not. I think this fight probably goes the distance, but it's going to be greasy, it's going to be sweaty. It's just a big, giant pass for me. Best of luck to you if you guys are betting on this fight. Andre Lima, Daniel Barez, yeah, nothing here as well. Lima's a big favorite, like most fighters on this card. Kind of feel like it's a Lima decision where he's just a little bit better than Barez pretty much everywhere. With the grappling, the striking especially, I think he's going to dictate where this fight takes place, and I think he's going to pick apart Barez across 3 rounds. I also don't mind the point deduction prop if you guys can get it. It's like plus 2,000. I think that, you know, Andre Lima is one of the biggest cheaters, if not the biggest cheater in the UFC. This guy cheats all the time. That's the only look I would take for this fight here. Luciano Hughes, another pass here. You know, not loving a ton of these prelims at all. Luciano Hughes, I think it's Luciano by decision. Luciano by decision's minus 195. I mean, I think that might be one of the worst decision props I've ever seen in my entire life. Minus 195. But I think that's what happens. You just can't bet that. If anything, like the Hughes plus 3.5 point spread at minus 205 could be a potential parlay piece, but outside of that, it's a pass. The fight goes the distance. It's minus 500 to do so. No value there. Easy pass for me. Josias Musasa, Carlos Vera. Musasa minus 900, Vera plus 600. Yet, this is a weird one because Josias Musasa shouldn't be minus 1,000 against anybody, but at the same time he's fighting Carlos Vera. Musasa was one of the 3 fighters who did miss weight. Didn't look terrible, but he did miss weight nonetheless. Didn't miss it by much. At the time of recording, I'm not sure if he went back to cut that extra. I think he needed like an extra quarter to half pound. So maybe he ended up making weight, but still, that's not the best look in the world. Yeah, I feel like it's, I want to say Musasa by knockout, but I could also see just Carlos Vera just, flopping to his back, just, not getting into a ton of trouble here. I could see this fight potentially going to decision. But what I did bet here, I donated a quarter unit on the Carlos Vera submission prop. It's his money line. It's plus 1,300. Josias Musasa has probably never seen anything near the caliber of grappling as a Carlos Vera, who has that kind of Ryan Hall style where he's going to, go for a leg, go for an arm, go for a neck, just nonstop grappling from the guy. He's going to flop to his back, he's going to roll for a leg. Carlos Vera, at the very least, at plus 1,300, I think he's going to attempt a couple submissions here as long as his head does stay attached. But yeah, Musasa should win. You just can't lay minus 900. So yeah, quarter unit on the sub prop for me at plus 1,300. Big number there. I said to myself, if it was plus 1,000 or better, I'm betting it, and it was. So taking a shot there. Su Young Yu, AJ Cunningham. Yu minus 625, AJ Cunningham plus 450. Zero interest in this fight. I actually like Yu, and a lot of people are talking crap about Yu this week, but I like the guy. I like his style. This guy can wrestle, good jiu-jitsu, solid cardio as well. And yeah, on the feet, AJ Cunningham is a walking punching bag, and he's very hittable, and maybe doesn't have the UFC caliber striking, but the striking probably is close here in this matchup, if not even favoring AJ Cunningham. The problem is, Yu is going to get the fight down to the ground. I think he's going to do so easily. I think he's going to win minutes easily. I like Yu by decision, but I'm not touching this fight here. Waldo Cortes-Acosta going against Ryan Spann. Yeah, I would have a bet on Waldo Cortes-Acosta here if the line came down, but it doesn't look like it's doing so. I think like a live bet on Waldo is probably the best way to go because, Ryan Spann, his best round is the first round. This is a guy that has not won a fight outside the first round since like 2019 and like against Sam Alvey. And I even thought he lost that Sam Alvey fight. So yeah, anytime Ryan Spann leaves the first round, he just looks terrible. Coming up a weight class to heavyweight, I'm not sure how that's going to work out for him. But yeah, Waldo, I'm not high on Waldo either. So it's a big, giant stay away from me, but I'll be looking to maybe live bet Waldo after that first round. And yeah, a lot of passing, guys. It's a greasy card. I'm passing on a lot of these fights for a very good reason. Kevin Vallejos, Sungwoo Choi. Vallejos minus 550, Sungwoo Choi plus 400. I have 2 units on the fight won't start round 3 at minus 158. I think somebody gets served here. I think that somebody's probably Sungwoo Choi, who has a sub 50% striking defense, who can't take a shot. Sungwoo Choi is one of those guys that when he gets hit, when he gets hurt, he wants to get it back, and it will cause him to stand and bang until one man falls, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I think Vallejos finishes Sungwoo Choi within those first 10 minutes, and if it doesn't, it probably goes to decision, but I think it's in those first 10 to 7.5 minutes for a finish. Give me the fight won't start round 3, 2 units, minus 158. Next, we got DR Nurgozhay going against Brenton Ribeiro. Yeah, I mean, interesting fight here. Nurgozhay actually missed weight by, I think, 5 pounds. I think he weighed at like 210 or 211 or somewhere around there. But, fact of the matter is he didn't even try to make weight. So I don't know how to really take that into account. But yeah, the fight's still on as far as I'm concerned, which is kind of surprising. We don't typically see 5+ pound weight misses stay on the card. So yeah, I think Nurgozhay absolutely cheated. But outside of the weight miss and all that, I think he's the much better fighter here. I think Ribeiro's breakable. 5 finish losses, 3 by knockout, 2 by sub. I think Nurgozhay inside the distance is a good look. And I do have a Hail Mary 3-leg parlay this week, and Nurgozhay inside the distance is one of those legs. I'll go over the other 2 at the end of the video. But yeah, that's about it for me. And I wouldn't go too heavy on this fight because the weight miss does kind of sketch me out, but it doesn't look like he tried to make weight, so we'll see. Damon Blackshear, Cody Gibson. Yeah, Blackshear minus 430, Gibson plus 330. I like Blackshear here. I think he wins by submission. The prop that I like is the fight ends by sub. It's plus 265. I'm on that for 0.75 units. Just because, yes, I think it's Blackshear winning by submission, but it's basically the same price as the Blackshear sub, right? So you might as well just take the fight ends by sub, because I think this is going to be a grappling match. Cody Gibson went for 1 million subs in his last fight, and if Blackshear does slow down, maybe Gibson could get that late sub. But yeah, I think it is Blackshear. I think it's Blackshear by submission. Blackshear by submission prop is fine, but I'm on that fight ends by sub. at about the same price as his submission prop, plus 265 there. Next, we got Alexander Hernandez going against Kurt Holobaugh. Yeah, there's a couple spots here. I put 2 units on the Kurt Holobaugh finish only, aka the scorecards no action at minus 107, which I thought was a very good price, and just the line that's wrong. So it might push, it might not, and I also think the Kurt Holobaugh plus 3.5 at minus 165 is a good look. I did want a little bit better of a price for that, but I think that hits. So those are kind of the 2 spots that I don't mind. So plus 3.5 for Holobaugh, finish only for Holobaugh. I think those are 2 solid looks. Hernandez by decision is probably his path here, but I think this fight's going to be close. I do think there's value on the Kurt Holobaugh money line. I don't trust Hernandez, his cardio, his durability, his heart. I think skill for skill, Hernandez is the more skilled fighter, but that doesn't always matter. So, yeah, Holobaugh I think is a live dog. I played that finish only, hoping he can break Hernandez, who's been breaking many times before. And I also don't mind the plus, like I said, the plus 3.5 and the Holobaugh money line I think are all solid looks this week. Moving on, we got Zaleski dos Santos going against Chidi Njokuani. So I bet these props before the weigh-ins, and after the weigh-ins, I like them even more. The first one is Zaleski dos Santos to win inside the distance, 1 unit at plus 150, and also sprinkled a quarter unit on Zaleski dos Santos to win by submission at plus 1100. Chidi Njokuani looked the worst out of anybody by a mile at the weigh-ins. He missed weight by, I think, a pound, which you don't typically like to see. Like when your fighter misses weight, you want them to miss weight by a lot. You don't want them to miss weight by like a half pound or a pound, and like Chidi did here. It's just not a good look because he had to really kill himself to make weight or try to make weight, and that's exactly what it looked like. He looked like a skeleton on the scale. He looked awful. It looked like the scale basically finished him already. So yeah, I like Zaleski here. I've never been high on Chidi in terms of his heart, his durability. This guy's been finished 8 times, which is almost double the times like Austin Lane's been finished, right? I think he has a lot of quit in him. I think anytime he has to battle any adversity whatsoever, he quits right away. So yeah, I mean, Chidi, I definitely see a path for him, but if he has to dig deep and battle some adversities, he's probably going to get finished here. I was going back and watching that Zaleski dos Santos fight with Randy Brown and Renat Fakhretdinov and even the Saint Denis fight, and if he puts Chidi in some of these same spots that he put those guys in, he's absolutely finishing this guy. So yeah, I like Zaleski dos Santos here inside the distance, especially after Chidi looked god-awful for the weigh-ins. And then we got Marvin Vettori going against Roman Dolidze. This was my first bet of the week. I bet this actually Sunday morning. Marvin Vettori, 2 units, minus 132. I figured the line would move. And how I kind of see the fight is, if this was a 3-round fight, I think you could argue there's value on Roman Dolidze. I think in a 3-round fight, you could argue the minutes over moments type thing, right? But the fact that this is a 5-round fight, I mean, I think it heavily favors Vettori. I mean, the extra 2 rounds heavily favors Marvin Vettori here. He's had a big layoff, but I like the cardio, the output especially. He's going to be doubling up to maybe even tripling up Dolidze insignificant strikes. He has the takedown defense, the grappling to keep it upright. So I like Vettori to go out there and win a decision. Could be a split because the judges, they're crooked, they're corrupt, and they don't know what they're watching, but I think Vettori gets it done. So yeah, just quick recap here. We got Vettori, money line, 2 units, minus 132. Sungwoo Choi, Kevin Vallejos, fight won't start round 3, 2 units, minus 158. 2 units on the Kurt Holobaugh finish only, minus 107. Zaleski dos Santos to win inside the distance, 1 unit, plus 150. Zaleski dos Santos by sub, quarter unit, plus 1100. Duben, Judice, fight doesn't go to decision, 1.25 units, plus 126. Blackshear, Gibson fight ends by sub, 0.75 units, plus 265. Vera submission, quarter unit plus 1,300. And then I have a 3-leg Hail Mary parlay. Vallejos Choi, fight ends by knockout, minus 175. Nurgozhay wins inside the distance, minus 137. And then Blackshear wins by submission, plus 300. Half a unit comes out to plus 987 around there. So those are the bets for UFC Vegas 104. This is a greasy card. It's sketchy. It's sketching me out. But hopefully we have fun watching it. Hopefully we make some money. Best of luck, everybody. Like on your way out, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.